Good evening. Welcome to Restore. Today we're going to start seated and make our way slowly closer to the earth. So join me on my mat and make sure you have any props that you require nearby. So if you don't have formal yoga props like blocks, bolsters, straps, blankets, cushions, there's always ways to make use of the things around your household. So in place of blocks, having books nearby or just other cushions, couch cushions, pillows, folded blankets, folded towels. In place of straps, you can always use neckties or belts or even long tea towels. And like I said, in place of a bolster or a meditation cushion, you can use couch cushions or pillows or other kinds of ways to help support your practice. So I will make my way to my mat and I'll meet you there. So it's always nice when we come to a seat to find our hips elevated a little bit. It tends to make it easier for the pelvis to be in a neutral position when the knees are underneath the hips slightly. And then that neutral position allows our spine to find its natural curve up towards the sky. We're going to settle in to our seat. Perhaps you close your eyes, perhaps you keep your eyes soft. And start to settle into your breath. Start to settle into the room. Start to settle into your body. This week, we're really tapping in to the wisdom that we have inside. My theme, and this is kind of the theme of this journey into 2021 that I'm on, and I'm inviting all my wonderful community to come along with me, is intuition, awareness, making choices that are individual, that are centered around your unique self, that are showing radical self-love by dismissing all judgments from yourself and from others, all the things we've been told are good, bad, right, wrong, and trusting that we truly know the best path for us. I call it radical because for a lot of us, it's mind-blowingly rebellious. It is not what we've grown up around. And it is half a way of dismantling first within ourselves, the structures of patriarchy, of dogma, and of so many other limiting belief systems that lie within. So today in our Restore class, we're going to dive deep and then deeper into our bodies and what feels good for us. We'll be moving slow and we'll be setting aside time with ourselves, fiercely carving out these moments. So as we sit here, we set the intention to do this, to listen to the messages, to use this next hour to move as our body tells us to follow the light feelings, to move naturally, intuitively, and act on the messages our body is giving us. This is the opposite of no pain, no gain. We have everything to gain. Start to tap in to how your breath is making you move. The very subtle movements. Very slowly, I'm going to start activating the spine, activating the pelvis, the head and the neck, the shoulders, to follow that natural movement of the breath. It might be a slight forward rock, backwards rock. Might be side to side, might be circles. And just move very slowly. Letting the inhalations and the exhalations lead you. They may get bigger. You may start to recruit some more muscle energy to assist on the movement. Still moving in that same way that came to you. And then lastly, for the last 4 breaths, exaggerate the movement. See how much of the body you can wake up. Beautiful. Come back to center. Let's inhale, reach the arms up and out, all the way until the hands join above, and then draw a line down the center, thumbs, paws at the heart. 2 more. really following the breath. Last one, we pause at the heart. And then we're going to start rolling the wrists, maintaining contact of the hands at every single point. Rolling the wrists. And then the opposite direction. The hands always making as much contact with each other as is possible in each position of the movement. And then last one, interlace the fingers and then start to make a wave with your arms. Maybe get your shoulders involved. Notice which arm feels like it's leading and which is following. And then we're going to try to reverse that. That one's a little more difficult for me. Just waking up both sides of the body. And then inhale, reach those arms all the way up again. And bring them down to a T position, palms facing up. And here we start to rotate the arms in the shoulder sockets. So one will rotate externally, one internally, and then we switch. Try to move from the very root of the shoulder socket, using all 360 degrees of both arms. And then you see down the length of the arm, the forearm, the wrist, the hand, the fingers follow in this movement. We can start to move our body, swaying, bending the elbows a little with the external rotation, seeing if you can get a little bit more movement, more life for the last 3. For the last 2. And 1. Beautiful. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, release the hands down to the heart center again. Bow to yourself. Maybe setting your own intention for today's practice. And then slowly release the hands, wiggle out the shoulders. We're going to make our way onto hands and knees here. So moving any props out of the way, but still accessible. Coming onto hands and knees. We'll do 4 times cat and cow, and you can start subtly tipping that pelvis, letting the head and the neck follow, inhaling and opening the heart center, and exhaling, opening the back body, pressing those kidneys up to the sky, opening the pelvis anteriorly. So make it slow, and as big or small as you wish. Just getting some blood flow back to parts that may be stuck. After this last one, we'll start to do some barrel rolls. So that means rolling the pelvis around in the circle, well, opening and the front and back body. drawing the ribs to the right and the left, letting that entire movement spiral up the spine. Head moves in a circle. Keeping the same breathing pattern. After this one, try going the opposite direction. One more time. Beautiful. Come back to neutral. Plant the hands, knees apart, toes together, and sit those hips back towards the heels. So you come into your first child's pose. If you need to, you can bring props under you, or your hands can hold your head up. And we just melt here. If you would like more support, a couch cushion or a bolster or set of pillows can come between the knees and catch your body as it falls. Beautiful. Slowly we'll come back onto hands and knees and keep as a prop nearby. We're going to bring the right leg forward into a low lunge. If you need something to pad that back knee, you can put a folded blanket, a cushion, knee pad under there. And then we're going to bring both hands to the inside edge of that right foot. So we're in a dragon or lizard type pose here. You could have something catching your hands like I have here. Could be on the floor. Could start to bend the elbows and again have something to catch the elbows underneath. And then release the head and the neck. Find softness. And then slowly press yourself up. And you could stay right here on your hands. You could support yourself on that front thigh as you come up into a low lunge, supporting yourself, maybe pressing your body a little bit further from that thigh, just to get a hip flexor stretch on that left leg there. You could always have blocks or supports beside you as well to hold on to. Soften the eyes, soften the shoulders, the neck, the third eye center. Beautiful. And then one more breath. We're going to bring our hands down again. Maybe you have blocks or books or pillows. Maybe you have a cushion again. And we're going to shift those hips back into a hamstring stretch. So I like to have this cushion kind of supporting my lower leg as well, so I'm not hyperextending that knee. I'm not pushing too hard here. I want my hips right above that back knee. And I don't want to be overstraining my back to fold forward, just letting it naturally fall, having that cushion there to support me, and then letting go through the head and the neck. And just getting that nice lengthening feeling up the back line of the leg, especially the hamstring. That you can feel the gentle fascial pull all the way from the heel up through the low back. One more breath here. And then we slowly bring that leg back to meet the left. You can do anything you need to clear that out before we go to the other side. So bringing the left leg forward, bringing that right knee back as far as it'll come, patting the right knee if needed, bringing the hands to a prop or to the earth on the inside edge of that left leg. Starting to melt the heart and deciding if you want to stay here or bring some more props in or bend the elbows and allow yourself to melt deeper into lizard pose. Keep breathing, listening to the body's messages. Of course, there might be discomfort in yoga, but you start just like a mother starts to recognize the different cries of her baby. We start to recognize the different kinds of discomfort in our bodies. The discomfort that leads to growth, that creates more. The discomfort that is destructive, painful, and, and detrimental to our bodies. One more breath here. And then slowly press yourself up. You can hang out here on your hands if you were down lower. You could come onto blocks on either side. You can bring those blocks or books or toilet paper rolls up even higher. Or you can support yourself on that front thigh, perhaps even making the space between heart and thigh even bigger by bringing the body more upright. Melting those hips forward into a low lunge. You could be leaning there too. All depends on where your body is ready to go. Softening the gaze, releasing any tension through the shoulders, keeping the heart open, collarbones wide. One more breath here. And then we're going to bring that bolster or your pillows or your blocks on either side of that left leg again, shifting the hips back and straightening the left leg into this half Hanuman, half split supported pose. We make sure both hips are in line and then find a soft head and neck, a natural spine. Breathing into the back line from the heel up through the left lower back. Keep breathing. We'll hold for 2 more breaths. And then slowly extract yourself from that and come into a child's pose again. Knees apart, toes together. Maybe there's a cushion to catch you. Slowly we press ourselves up. So we're going to be coming to our sides now. You can always do this directly on the floor or on folded blankets or towels. You can use a couch cushion or even a pillow. With a bolster and something firmer like a couch cushion, you can bring it right up into the hip so that your body can come to lay lengthwise on there, and that torso is slightly elevated from the ground, putting the hips in kind of a more neutral position here. You can keep the knees bent. So to begin with here, we're going to just do a little bit of arm movement with that upper arm here. So walk it out in front of you at a right angle to your body. Relax through the shoulder and then start to trace circles around you with that arm. The elbow can bend, especially as it comes back behind you. But just be very slow and mindful, closing your eyes, pausing whenever your body's asking for it. Do one more in that direction and then switch directions. So one kind of feels like a backstroke, and then the next feels like a front stroke. Make the circles as big as you'd like. It's up to you how straight the arm is or how bent. Whatever feels right. One more time in this direction. Beautiful. Now we can actually stay like this, or can start to turn the body towards the ground and have something for your head. If you have a cushion there, you can keep the head turned towards that side. The knees are pointing. The chest is coming down closer towards the ground now. Or if you want to come into a full twist, maybe you can position yourself so that the head can turn to the opposite side. We're in a supported twist here. Arms are comfortable. They could be hugging that bolster or pillow. We could be all the way down on the ground. Just a very gentle twist. And very slowly. 2 more breaths here. And start to first turn your head back, and then use your arms to press yourself all the way up so that you can switch sides. So we're either coming all the way down to the ground or having a pillow or a cushion or bolster come up to support this side of the body. First, resting on that bottom arm, finding a comfortable place here, walking that top arm away from you at a right angle and beginning your circles. So tracing a circle, a big bubble, moving slow. Noticing places of stuckness. And try not to reach those places where it might pinch. Maybe bend the elbow and decrease your circumference if that's happening. One more time in this direction. And then other direction, coming into that front stroke. Just mindfully moving that arm, bringing movement to the shoulder girdle. Really isolating it from the neck and from the back. Two more in this direction. And coming to stillness. Take a moment here to relax. And then when you're ready, you can bring the arms on either side of your pillow or turn to face the earth and then start to come down. Maybe something catches your head as it comes down. Maybe you turn it to one side. Maybe you're able to twist enough to turn it to the opposite side of your knees. Heart facing the earth. Feeling that gentle pull along the fascia, especially of the side body. We can feel the twist happening from the pelvis up through the spine towards the head. A slow, gradual twist, weighted down by the hips, jaw relaxed, shoulders relaxed. One more breath here. And we slowly press ourselves up and come all the way back. So, or if we have a pillow or bolster, we can keep it there. We could also use blocks with a cover on them to make them softer because what we want to do now is to bring our backs down towards the earth. So you can use the earth as well if you don't have any of those, or maybe a folded blanket lengthwise. We want something to come to lie on that will give us this heart opening effect. So blocks behind the shoulder blades or a pillow or cushion, two pillows lengthwise, or nothing at all is fine as well. If you need an extra support for the head, another folded towel, and you'll bring the arms to the side. Walk the heels in as close as they want to. Keep the feet together and let those knees fall out to the side. Now, here as well, if your body senses and gets a little bit worried about nothing being there to support your knees, you can always have something catch them too. So, pillows or blocks or toilet paper rolls or any kind of support underneath there too. Coming into Supta Bhattachanasana, supported, reclined cobbler's pose here. Really breathing into that front body, breathing into the inner line of the pelvis, the thighs, the legs. 3 more deep breaths here. And then slowly help those knees back up towards each other. You can leave the knees bent or start to stretch the legs out along your mat, coming into a supported fish pose. If you do not have anything underneath you, you can wedge those thumbs underneath you, walk the elbows in, and lift that heart up, coming back down on either a pillow or something to hold you up for supported fish pose, or you can come into full supported fish pose by trying to get your head onto the floor. If none of those work, even just coming to the back, legs stretched out underneath you or in front of you, because we're going to be just doing some arm stuff here. So holding that for a few moments with that heart open, shoulder blades pulled up under the heart center, lifting it up towards the sky. One more breath for fish here, Matsyasana. And then releasing if you are in fish pose, coming down onto the back, coming onto your bolster. You're going to reach those arms up towards the sky, straight arms. If you're on a bolster or a support, you can almost feel those heads of the arm bones drop down towards the earth from gravity. Otherwise, feel that grounding, the back of the shoulders, as you just let those arms be heavy here. And then we're slowly going to trace an arc, leading with the thumbs back behind us to get a nice long stretch. Maybe the thumbs reach the floor, maybe they don't. Keep the neck long. Keep those armpits open, collarbones wide, shoulder blades on the back, and see if you can do this without shrugging the shoulders up towards the ears. Now bend the elbows into a cactus. If you are on a support, gravity is likely drawing those arms down to the sides, probably not quite reaching the floor. Just giving a really intense stretch here. If you want less of a stretch, open those arms up so that your hand catches you as the arm is being weighed down towards the earth. Now you're just going to experiment and come to movement, bringing the arms down and all the way up, either making snow angels or from cactus coming into diamond and back, exploring the range of motion this way. If you're all the way on the floor, those arms are tracing a bubble around you. And after one more round of movement, slow, mindful movement, Reach those arms back up overhead and trace that arc back up so that the arms come to perpendicular to the ground again. Cross the right over the left, bending at the elbows, elbows pointing straight up to the sky. You can hold the opposite shoulder with the hand and just let that settle in. Reach the arms up, cross the other arm over, touch opposite shoulders, and settle here. And then reaching back up again, you can release the arms and slowly roll to one side off the bolster or whatever you have there for yourself. We're going to be getting ready for our final relaxation. So whatever you need to make happen for Shavasana. So that could be on your back. You could be doing it in legs up the wall as well. You could have bolsters or pillows underneath the knees. You could have a blanket to keep you warm. But slowly start to prepare yourself. You can have eye pillows to close your eyes and shut out the light and kind of put some gentle pressure that's so soothing and relaxing. You know that there's these really great heavier bean bags for the abdomen too, and that can feel nice. If you have a weighted blanket, like I said, anything you need here. Once you've found yourself in Shavasana, in your Shavasana, remember, listen to your body. If something's calling you, go for it. Once you've found your way here, close your eyes. Coming back to the breath. Coming back to stillness. Coming even deeper now into yourself. Our bodies, our minds, our energy, our spirit, they are forever trying to communicate with us. Notice what happens when you start to give your body that time to have its say. When you give yourself stillness. In that calm that ensues, you really can start to see you for what you really are. This light, this spiritual being in this beautiful, sweet vehicle of a body. And then it becomes clearer. That intuition, that awareness is not something we are developing or growing or new to. We're becoming aware of what is always there. The wisdom, the knowing, which choices create more. Please stay here as long as you can, as long as you like to, as long as your body is asking. Even just slink off towards bed if it's nighttime, if that suits you. Maybe a bath. Maybe you finish in meditation. Maybe you go get some fresh air. What is your body telling you? Just make sure that before you leave your mat today, you thank yourself. You thank yourself for listening, for meeting yourself, and for acting on these messages. I thank you so much for practicing with me. Until we meet again, the light being in me smiles, nods, honors the light being in you.